Thank you very much to that IGN commenter that actually linked my video in this newest article by Colin Moriarty, and that's right, I'm not pronouncing his name right. It's called PlayStation Vita's Poor Hardware and Software Sales. And I have to give him credit. He actually reported this news like a journalist, not a fanboy. He gave the sales data, and you know what? He was actually harsher on the Vita than I was. And not because he wants to be, but because I actually got my sales data wrong. I was actually easier on the Vita because I said it didn't break the top 20 in terms of software sales. But in fact, it didn't break the top 30 or the 35. The closest game to the top was Hot Shots Golf 6, and it placed 37th. Uncharted placed 40th, Dynasty Warriors placed 44th, and Lord of Apocalypse placed 49th. Meaning, it just flopped. There's no way to spin it. It flopped in its second week. Could it pick up next week? Yes, absolutely. But I doubt it will. Second thing I want to point out is that my first video, the PlayStation Vita is set to succeed with a question mark, was made immediately after Colin Moriarty posted this article that was on the front page of IGN as the first banner, just begging to be clicked. And so I made this video rant immediately after I read that, and it was very sloppy. I didn't really express myself the way I probably should have, and I'm kind of embarrassed, to be honest with you, that it's gotten almost 4,000 views, and that it was linked to by people without me even knowing. I appreciate that, but I'm a little embarrassed because I'm not used to my opinions being out there that frequently, or that prominently. So I'm sorry it wasn't more polished. I could have done a better job, and I probably wasn't too much better than IGN in that regard. And so, yeah, it was a little hypocritical that I was calling him biased when I'm obviously a Nintendo fan. But at the same time, I don't work for IGN. I'm not a million hit website, or, hundreds of millions of hit website. I don't claim that what I'm reporting or what I'm talking about is breaking news. And this is like Fox News reporting something completely bogus and people calling them out for it. And I think that's called for. And now to the people who are wondering why I'm so mad over this one article, it's not about this article. It's not even about Colin Moriarty. It's about the fact that everywhere you look, there's a Nintendo is doomed article. But you never see a PlayStation is doomed article. You never see it, even if it's called for. Like in this case, the Vita is doing substantially worse than the 3DS. And yet people don't care. Journalists are like, whatever, it'll pick up. But they weren't like that with the 3DS. And you know why? It's because their readers are mostly Sony fans. And they don't dare anger them. Video game journalism is a joke. And I mean that sincerely. And I think Colin Moriarty just demonstrates it very well. So, no offense to him in particular, because everybody in the video game world is kind of just as bad. Maybe not as bad, but almost as bad. But this just really highlighted it to me. How easy it is to be a video game journalist and have absolutely no facts or basis to back up anything they say. And they can get away with it because it's just entertainment. Nobody cares about video games. I mean, really, it's not going to solve world hunger. So they aren't held accountable for anything they say. But, I'm getting completely off track here. I just want to reiterate that the 3DS is doing very well. And it hasn't been doing well for a long time. But it's saddening to see that the Vita is doing even worse, and yet not even a fraction of the hate is being thrown towards Sony or its mistakes for the Vita. It's one-sided journalism, favoritism, whatever you want to call it, and it has to stop. You guys have to demand more from IGN, demand more from any website you visit, and just write and read fair shit. That's basically it. I'm not perfect. I'm not saying I'm the answer. I barely even update the site. I'm just saying you should strive to look for that and demand more from sites that make millions of dollars like IGN. They should have fair journalists. And that doesn't mean I want happy rainbow sunshine articles about every single company. I just want shit slinging towards every company when they screw up. Not just Nintendo. Alright?